Alright, first off, the Lord won't allow you to injure me any more than I've already been injured. And, to my knowledge. Nor can you do anything to harm me during the day because I'm constantly on guard, unless you're doing some kind of assassination attempt. In broad daylight, in the Walmart or where I was at today. Now, the only thing you can do is try to shoot me and quietly leave. Now, like all human beings, I might fall to the floor and, you see the gunshot wound, but you would also see it heal. And me walk away. Just as you did. Now, the thing is, no murderer can stick around the murder scene. And the longer you stick around, the more attention you draw to yourself. Now, I'm not saying I was or wasn't in a car accident. You can't prove that with them showing me the car itself after the accident. Now, there is a possibility that if my stepbrother wanted to see if I could handle the car, wanted me to go off the embankment. I don't know. But I'd ask him what the Dukes of Hazzard. I don't know. I mean, other than that, what could it have been but chicken, maybe? I don't know. Or the most logical would be either chicken or my brother wanted to see if I could handle the car around the curve and asked to see if I could, go off the embankment like the Dukes of Hazzard would do. I mean, other than that, I don't know what would even make sense. Only those two things really make sense, because it's not as though I didn't know the car wasn't uninsured. But we would have to decide between the time I turned down the road to the curve, which is why I showed you the timeline there. That's about a minute from the curve where I blacked out. Now, I made it safely to Guyton and up to the road, and then I blacked out and woke up in the hospital. That's at least a 2-hour gap in my timeline. And no one can change that. And same with the 3-story fall. I don't know how long I blacked out, but my last memory was climbing up on the roof and lowering myself down to the window ledge, letting go and blacking out. And then waking up in the ER. Can't prove anything beyond that with a blackout. But that happened twice, and these accidents in the Bible and all around the world can kill people. But they didn't kill me. And the injuries in my x-rays, like I keep telling Mary Snow, like I keep telling BTG, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here to force you, but I gotta tell you what I'm learning, which is how to really love people. Someone came along here and taught you to hate each other, and instead of loving each other, you started these mini wars, and let's call him Ares or Ha-Satan, the enemy. Either way, it's the god of war in Greek mythology, and Ha-Satan, the accuser of the brethren who started the war in heaven, according to John. Well, because the disciples only told us part of the truth about Jesus, and might have even ad-libbed some of the things he said, meaning they put their own 2 cents into it, because it was written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And then Luke wrote the book of Acts, and then the writings of Paul, and then a few letters from James, John, Peter, and Jude, and then the book of Revelations, right? Of course, we know the Old Testament is completely Hebrew, and also we know the Muslims came along 500 to 600 years later and stuff like that, and that's why we're sort of in this same predicament today. Now, people just want to argue sometimes. Now, the thing is, if you argue about what words people use, and you say, oh, it's offensive to use the word retard because of handicapped people. Well, A, all the word means is you're a slow learner. Now, if you're not retarded, yet you're acting like you don't want to learn something, you're acting retarded too. People can act retarded. Now, it's how you use the word as well which is what really makes it offensive. I know. Now, if you are a normal human being, and you look down upon a disabled person and you call them retard, that is bad. That is judging them and being a bully. Now, the retarded person who was born under the medical term retarded didn't do anything to you. You know that person in your mind is retarded. What you're doing is picking on them in bully fashion, calling them retarded. Now, the people who attack me here on YouTube, I don't even know who the hell they are. But they're doing to me what that person I just described in my story is doing to the real person who's described medically as being retarded. Now, medical retardation you can't help. But the person who's attacking them should know better than them if they're not retarded as well. If they're considered normal, they're worse than the retarded person in the first place for being offended by the whole use of the word, for one. For two, they're blaming the person for their physical condition, which that person has no control over. Two, they're trying to also make the word itself, because of their use of it, not the medical term, as well that it really means, offensive to everyone. In other words, if they can't use it, nobody can use it type attitude. And that's why some people get offended by words. It's not because they're right and using it in the first place. They're wrong and they don't want, if they can't use it, no one can use it, right? If you're offended by me using it, no one can use it type attitude. It's the same with women, or men, in relationships. If I can't have you, nobody can have you. Or if I'm dating you and I get pregnant by you, I'll abort your baby or something like that. If I was to get pregnant, that could have been me and Maribel. I don't know. But the point is, you can't know what's in someone's heart every day. And when someone's with you or not with you, you can't change any outcome either way. Now, if someone is telling you a lie and they forget their own lie, well, you get confused too. That's what happened with me and Maribel one time. And sometimes I would try to catch her when she was not wanting to see me. So when I did, I caught her with Steve more than anyone else, other than Bart, who she said was her ex. Now, Bart lived in Virginia Beach, and Steve lived off more closer to Little Neck, is what she told me. Though, I guess her and Scott did too. Though they might have lived at Ocean View when I sent her the letter from Stafford Auto Paint. But again, I was doing that to see if she had moved on, and when I found out she did, I dropped it. So I didn't even want to hear from her again. But she did call me in 2000 about Patrick, her new son. Which she was acting like with me, she couldn't get pregnant at all. It was on birth control pills and all kind of shit. So what the hell am I supposed to do, Maribel? And then you tell me the story about meeting Scott and getting drunk and then find out you're pregnant and marrying Scott. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then you tell me the birth weight of the baby was 4 pounds 9 ounces. And that he's not my baby, but Scott's. And I said, oh, okay, I don't know. I wasn't arguing with you. I wasn't trying to prove anything to you. but I didn't know any more about it than you did at the time. Now, all you can do is what's called research into any field or area you're given, or told about. Now, if you want to know about babies, you buy a pregnancy book. Now, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I just went on disability, but I also frequent the library. And there's one in Puller where I got a book about pregnancy and looked it up on the computer, or found it looking through the different books and different things like that. And I found a book on pregnancy that said babies start at cellular level and then develop to a certain weight along that path. And they start out almost zero as far as weight and length. When they're joined together, the sperm and the egg, what happens is conception is where life begins. And I'm not either for abortion or against abortion. It's the female's choice, and I'm not for birth control nor against birth control. It's the female's choice. And I'm not for condoms nor against condoms. It, again, is the female's choice. If she don't want a child, you cannot make her feel comfortable having a child no matter what you do, and that wasn't what I was trying to do. And what happened with me and her was I felt like Bart was always interfering in our relationship after a certain point. And she was only seeing me on the sly anyway, whenever she could get away with him. And she was constantly telling both of us she still loved us. So finally, what happened with me is I gave up on it. I met a girl 2 weeks before I was with her the final time. Me and her had a little bit of a rendezvous. Got to know each other too, and I liked her a little bit. We had sex at the beginning, the middle of the month, like I did when I went back to see her. And I had what's called, some people call breakup sex. Meaning I already been with another female, but I didn't tell her about it. I lied and said no, I wasn't. And the reason I did that is because of how she treated me the whole time with Mark. She was telling both of us she still loved both of us, and that's why I finally did that too. Now, she was acting all shitty about Bart cheating on her, so I knew if I cheated on her and then told her, that would piss her off more, and she would want nothing else to do with me either, because I was tired of her crap. Let's be honest. Now, up until then, I was constantly writing her letters and all kind of crap. Well, I finally got tired of it, and then 2 weeks later, I wrote her my Dear John letter to her. To break it off. Once and for all. And so I did. And that's where we're at now. And I'm trying to figure out still what's going on with Patrick and why she's acting so weird, and why she don't want him to still possibly even be my son. Which, who would have a bigger problem with it? The girl who was in love with two men and then met another man afterwards and immediately thought it was his child, but didn't really want to find out that it wasn't, even when you were telling her it could be. I didn't want a DNA test with you or the dad, but lied and said she had one, when obviously she didn't, or she would know who's the father of the child. So like I said, it's like it became a good thing for a while to be with her, but then a bad thing because she wasn't in love with me like I was with her. And like, even though I'm mentally ill, I can't tell that. And sure I can. So could you? Now, if she's still with Scott, I don't know. Like I said. But she might resent me more now, I know. If she still don't want to deal with the pregnancy, I know, and the fact that the child could be mine. And she might hit the medical facts I'm telling you here on YouTube, which she could be the main one harassing me now. Or her and Scott, but I don't know. Or it could be King or Ben or any number of people. Even Pastor Davis could debate his own trial and stuff like that. Because of him touching my ass. He's trying to cover his sin. And then what came out on 2020 and stuff like that. Like I ain't been around child molesters before either. And see, Daphne's family and Pastor Davis are both out of Arkansas. Interesting coincidence, is it not? Is it not? But I don't judge. Now, I've been resting for about since from like 10:30 to now, about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours over there. I went to Walmart and got me some lunch. Had some fried chicken. Of course, if you're from the South, you like your fried chicken. And I also had some macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes and a little bit of salad. Not salad, but banana pudding. Normal things. Now, some people can, of course, work quicker than others and get jobs done at various speeds. And that's fine. And some people take longer. And some people just don't like people. For whatever reasons. Now, the thing is, we all, though, gotta learn to get along despite our differences. Now, I had to go to Walmart and get me a bigger Phillips and flathead for the next part of the project. Now, I'm doing pretty good. I got all the stuff up there. Got the wires separated, the ground, and then the 3 lead wires. Now, the reason why I didn't get any power is I forgot to cut the light on, the switch on. Whoops. Simple faux pas there, but that's no big deal. It's happening one. And I'm pretty sure I know which wire goes where. So we ain't gonna worry about that. Now, no one can change anyone's mind if it's made up, not mine with the VA or mine with the Navy. I mean, if they all think I'm paranoid schizophrenic, there ain't much I can do about it. And even this job won't prove anything to them. It's just one job, 20 years later. I mean, about 20 years later after I was discharged. Whatever. But it does prove, to some point, to some degree, maybe they were wrong, maybe, and rushed to judgment about it all. A little bit, you think? But whatever. Can't prove that either. I'm just trying to be a sort of a fun guy, teach you some of the things I learned growing up. And that's it. That's Alright, this is my Phillips, and next part of the project, again, is the brackets. am attaching the ground first. Now, I got 2 ground wires here, and I might want to attach them at the same source or 2 different places as well. Now, the thing is though, to make sure it's just properly grounded to the ground wire. That's all you really need to do. Now, my plan, when I first joined the Navy was to try and make it a career. But of course, that didn't work out. And you can't change the past. So all you can do is move on. Now, again, people also didn't want to work with me in the Navy. And that caused a problem too. Now, unless like you're doing an easy job, which being an electrician is never an easy job. And like I said, if you want to get electrocuted and not play it safe, that's up to you. But I don't. Alright? Now these here screws are Phillips screws. I need 2. I need this piece and the other piece which is already in my pocket. So what I'm going to do is to temporarily put the pieces in my pocket until I can get the mount down. Now, next stage you want to do in this series is put the light in its proper place. Now, I'm going to have to remove this mount which is the old mount for the old light, and see if it'll fit into the light cover there. I mean the cover there. Now, what that is so there's no nothing in between the ceiling and the wires there that run through the plate there. Gotta get a better position here. Well, that don't look like it wants to come down at all. Alright. Now, I'm going to want this opening here for when I put the thing here on it to both face the same direction so I can hook the wires to the ground. Things like that. So, let's see if we can do that first. Well, that ain't going to go right. And the other slot is too big. Damn it. So, see, the screw seems to be too small, or not long enough. Yeah, it's too thick to fit in the hole there. And it's too small. Whoops. Fitting all there. So these screws ain't gonna work for this shop. There ain't much I can do about it except get smaller screws or something. Which I can do that too. Now this is the manufacturer's fault there too. I know. See, when they package stuff, they do it at a certain spec. Well, not all houses have the same specs. That's the only problem there. Now, all I need is one screw, but I gotta find out the size of that screw. And again, go from there. Now, this screw right here is too big to fit into the mount, so I need a smaller screw, but I don't want it too small because then it won't fit into this thing at all. So I might need to go to Walmart and or a hardware store like Lowe's or something and see if I can find both a little bit longer screw and also a screw where I can have enough length on it to get it safely up there without a lot of struggle too. And get it in the right hole and to fit the mount properly. Now again, what I'm doing now is just showing you how some jobs go. Now once you determine your stuff ain't quite spec wise compatible, then you have to make other plans. Now I could do two things. I can bring it back or call the manufacturer and say the screw is too big, what size is it, which I might do that too. But the point is, for right now I gotta take another break because I gotta find out from the manufacturers what size screw this is, because it's too big for my mount to screw it in. So that's my problem right now. Let me see if they got a phone number here and I'll call them or something. No. Yeah, parts inventory, they got a phone number. So anyway, I'll move the job back into the living room real quick and see about getting a little bit of a smaller screw, because this is too big to fit into the mount there. Alright. So, anyway, I hook my computer back up to the internet and let it charge until I get back. Now, I can show you on my mini cam ride to Lowe's. I'm not. And stuff like that. Right, let my computer charge for a little while. Alright. Now, this phone don't have a speakerphone, it's just cordless, so you won't hear the conversation or anything, but I'll go ahead and call the parts department and find out what size screw I got here, so I can go to Lowe's and get a smaller one, but not one too small that don't fit my mount as well. Alright. Yeah. Alright. They're closed, so I might just have to go down to Lowe's. So anyway, that's it for this video. Until I can find a slightly smaller screw, a slightly longer screw, and also a screw that'll fit into my mount that won't give me any problems screwing it in. This is something you can run into on any job, and again, just normal things you gotta deal with. Now it's stupid to bring the whole fan back because you need 2 screws as well. So anyway, I'll continue recording on the Minicam, and then when I get back, I'll let you know how I did at Lowe's to get a new screw for the mount. Alright, anyway, y'all have a great afternoon. Bye bye.